welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And we are talking about Snow White. So this is the original Grimm's fairy tale. Okay. Yeah, she's 7. Gotta get that out of the way. They aged her up in the Disney film and she's 14. In this, she's 7. So now here's the basic original beginning of the tale. So a queen in the middle of winter, she's looking out at the sky and she wishes to have a child with the, she pricks her finger, so the lips is red as blood, skin as white as the snow, and hair as black as the wood on her of the ebony frame. So that's how she gives birth to Snow White. Then the queen dies. And then comes the stepmother. And she has a magic mirror that she goes to. Well, it's a looking glass and a mirror. So this is what she says. Looking glass upon the wall, who's the fairest of us all? And the looking glass would answer, you are the fairest of them all. And then she was happy. And then Snow White turned 7. Yeah, 7. And this is what, looking glass upon the wall, who's the fairest of us all? It answered, Queen, you are full fair, 'tis true, but Snow White is fairer. Snow White fairer is than you. Yeah, she gets very, very mad, summons a huntsman, says, go kill her. He can't do it. He takes her into the woods. He can't do it because she begs for her life, and she's a 7-year-old. And so he sends her to run off into the woods and kills a boar and brings the heart. Because again, the queen cooks it up and eats it. Because of course she does. Snow White then finds the 7 dwarves' cottage and how small it is. She falls asleep. They come. They do a 3 Little Bears thing. No, they don't have names, but they do a 3 Little Bears of there's somebody been doing this, and then they find her, and she wakes up, and they agree to, they realize she's the princess, and they agree for her to cook and clean for them, and she can stay with them. That's like, the evil queen's gonna come after you. Please don't open the door. Again, she's 7, so it kind of explains. Now, then first the queen comes, she realizes, okay, she thinks the queen has says, looking glass upon the wall, who is the fairest of us all? The looking glass answered, Queen, thou art of beauty rare, but Snow White living in the glen with 7 little men is 1,000 times more fair. So now she's pissed, so she disguises herself as a peddler of sorts and comes fine wares, and she greets Snow White, and she has laces. So this is, I believe, like a corset. Yeah. Yes, it's pretty lace. She has a pretty figure. Again, she's 7. So basically, she laces her up to make her suffocate. The dwarves come home, they unlace her, she breathes again. So, then again, looking glass upon the wall, who's the fairest of us all? Queen, thou art beauty rare, but Snow White living in the glen with the 7 men is 1,000 times more fair. So now she's still pissed. So now she comes, I believe this is the comb. Yeah. Different peddler. Yes. So she puts a poison comb. Went home. And again, the same thing happened. The Snow White is, again. Then she comes with the apple. And again, she asks, you are the fairest now of all. So, 'cause Snow White is now unconscious. Possibly dead. So the dwarves put her in a glass coffin because they can't bear to hide her away because she's beautiful. And again, she's 7. Then comes it doesn't actually say how long. They laid her on a briar and set all 7 of them around it. And then they couldn't hide her away in the ground. So they put clear glass over her, and then they do not say how long it is, but I'm guessing it's not very long because, well, she's also not dead, but nonetheless, it can't be that long. But the king's, okay, because she was a king's daughter, yes. All the animals came around, yes. because it looked like she was asleep. And then a king's son rode through the wood and saw her on mountain coffin and how beautiful she was. And he beseeches the dwarves to give her to him, and they say no at first, but he eventually convinces them, and he sends his people to get them. They knock the coffin, apple comes out of her mouth. So now she can breathe and becomes conscious again. And yeah, he pretty much says to, I would love anything for the world to come with me to be my father's castle, and you shall be my bride. She's 7. So wicked stepmother was beheaded into the feast. She asked looking glass upon the wall, who's the fairest of us all? The looking glass answered, O queen, thou art of beauty rare, the young bride is 1,000 times more fair. And basically she is now pissed off, and apparently can't move. They don't explain why, but she ends up having wrought iron shoes on her feet, and she has to dance until she dies. So that's the original tale. There's something wrong with this. It's weird. She's 7. And no, during the Middle Ages, they were not marrying that young. And they were not dying that young either. They were dying as young children, but that's the reason that life expectancy rate is messed up. It's because children were lucky to live until they were 5. If you got past childhood, you lived into your 50s. So, yeah, they were not marrying at 7. I mean, yes, some royalty would become betrothed at 7, but they were not getting married, and no adult men was, at least rarely, were actually marrying a 7-year-old. It might have happened, but no, not a 7-year-old. They were not marrying a 7-year-old. Again, betrothed, yes. I mean, that's what happened with Catherine Aragon. I can't remember how old she was, but she was shipped off from her parents in Spain to England because she was betrothed to the king and then was married to his brother. And that caused a whole other mess. But nonetheless, yeah, no. I don't know the background of this very well. We'll have to be looking further into this, but you don't marry 7-year-olds. It's very weird. And the fact that they're sexualizing a 7-year-old, because she's nearly killed to death by a corset, and is talking about her beauty and very much sexualizing a small child. My daughter is 6. This is a year older. It's very weird. But nonetheless, that is the original story of Snow White. So when we review the film, her being 14 is aged up by 7 years. It's still creepy, but not quite as bad as the original tale. So that is it for this review. You guys will be seeing this on Labor Day tomorrow. It is not the middle of the night, thankfully. And I have to get going. I'm trying to get my kid through schoolwork. So, like and subscribe. Leave a positive comment if you have one. And we'll be diving deep into Snow White. Thank you.